welcome to another board game review from theplayersaid.com. My name's Alexander.
I'm Grant.
I'm Tim.
And I'm Brum.
Our brother-in-law.
Yes. Today we're taking a look at Bloodborne, the card game. This is from Cool Mini or Not, and it was designed by Eric Lang. And we just picked this up. Brum bought this at Gen Con. We were just at Gen Con 50 this weekend, and we just played this. It was a very quick playing card game. And Bloodborne's, it's a video game. Has anyone played the video game?
No.
None of us have ever played it, but it's fairly well known. I had a lot of friends at one of my old jobs who had played the game. They loved it. They said it was very brutal, and it was just relentless. Lots of dying and restarting. And I don't know. People compare Bloodborne and Dark Souls together from a video game standpoint. From a board game standpoint, this is very, very different. This is the light card game. The Dark Souls miniatures game is like huge. It takes 3 hours.
Tactical miniatures.
Yeah. And so this was we blew through this in an hour. If that.
It would have been quicker if we knew what we were doing.
Yeah. If we played this again now, 45 minutes maybe. The deck that you play through is very small, but there's a lot of monsters. You know, you only choose I think you play 10 monsters and then a final boss, and there's probably 40 or 50 in the box. There's lots of replay value here in that sense. So Grant, what's something that you liked about this game?
I enjoy I guess the way to describe it is pre-planning or programming. You're choosing an action before you really know what everyone else is going to do. So therefore, you don't know when your action is going to go off. You don't know if the boss is going to have life left for you to take and gain points. I enjoy those kind of games. We've played a couple of those kind of games recently where you're playing an action and you don't know if it's going to go off or not, or if it's going to work out for you. But you can kind of know, looking around the table and knowing what everyone's going to play. So I like that aspect. Kind of cool.
I like the timing effect. I mean, it's really important that you play the right cards at the right time.
Yeah.
And if you don't, it's going to set you back 2 or 3 more rounds. There were many times where I played the wrong card and I should have waited to play that card the next round. It would have gave me more points. So I really like the timing, and where you are in turn order determines what you should be playing when also. So I really like that strategy of when to play what card, why to play it, and how it's going to affect either the other players or the monster that you're fighting at the time.
So speaking of timing, you and I one time played those sniping cards basically.
And it canceled each other out.
And it killed the monster.
Oh,
yeah.
So I took 1 health for the monster and you did 2.
But I was the first player, and I was supposed to be able to do the first damage, but they
Right.
killed it before I could deal any damage.
So that was a great example of 2 timing cards played perfectly.
Yeah.
Because we then got not only the health from the blood tokens, but we got the collection of the trophies, which was big because it took those away from you, and ultimately in the end was the difference in victory.
Yeah, so Grant did win, and that was the pivotal moment because you have to deal damage to the creature to get a trophy.
In that round.
In that round, because you can deal them over the course of a number of rounds. But what I liked most about it is it started off the game making you feel it's co-op. All of the standard weapons are just designed to help you kill something. And then you very quickly see that these upgrade weapons, which you can get as you're doing Hunter's Dream, basically causes you to cause the other players to take more damage.
Yeah.
I was probably responsible for 2 of Tim's deaths, who unfortunately was the only person who died during the whole game. I enjoyed it.
3 times.
3 times. two were my fault.
I would probably die less in the video game than I did in this game.
One of those deaths weren't your fault. We messed up a rule.
We might.
We rounded up when we should have rounded down with the damage.
So.
And why that's bad is if you have blood echo or echoes collected and you die, you lose the ones that haven't been banked. So, and those are used towards your final scoring, and he had quite a bit.
I had quite a few. I probably lost 10 points by dying throughout the game.
And the dying is very interesting because I did not die once in this game, and I lost.
He tied Tim.
And that is, there was a fascinating interplay between, you have this Hunter's Dream card, which allows you to rest and get your cards back and heal up, and I thought I was doing it at the right times. I would just play them at the worst possible times. Like, I would play that, I'm like, oh, sweet, I'm going to get all my stuff back, and then they like snipe monsters and get trophies. And I was so far behind in the trophies because I was not the timing of actually the monsters dying. I'd do the first damage, next round they'd snipe, and I'd be like,
Didn't get any trophies.
and so
It's that timing.
so you can
Very
not
neat
die a lot.
part of the game.
Didn't die once, still lost the game. So there's really, really interesting stuff to try and account for that you don't get in. I don't know. I've never had that before in a game quite like that, where someone can get rocked and still, so have the same amount of points as someone who stayed alive. That was
I hung in
fascinating.
there
And
because
I'm
I had a
like,
lot of trophies.
Oh no.
Yeah.
I was probably involved with. I probably got a trophy from almost every monster that was out there. I think I missed out on 3, and then I had a special ability that gave me an extra bonus trophy of my choice if I was able to get a trophy that turn. And I think I got 3 of those. So the trophies helped me out quite a bit.
That was another thing I kind of liked. This game isn't necessarily about being the one that does the killing blow, but it's about making sure every single round you're getting a hit in on that monster. 1, so you get a blood token. 2, so you're in the running for trophies if it dies that turn.
Yeah.
And I thought that was very cool. I think that it's cool when you can design a game such that it rewards you just for being a part of something rather than necessarily being number 1 at something that round. I like that aspect. Very cool.
And it forces you to think about how you can use items, because we had a boss that whatever weapon you used, you had to discard at the end of the round. And so you were incentivized as a group to focus in on killing it that round, but you almost wanted to guarantee that everyone had to use 1 weapon, because otherwise only 3 of you were getting rid of a weapon. I think in that fight we all got rid of a weapon.
I did.
Yeah.
But that was the only way we killed it.
But it's do I play a bad weapon and then run the risk of having to discard another card next time because it's going to survive a round, or do I play a good weapon to ensure it dies, but then I've lost my good weapon? There's some really cool monsters in this that have really neat game effects.
Neat abilities, yeah.
So, what's maybe something that we could maybe see improved upon, bro?
Come back to me on that one.
You could say
I
nothing.
I want expansions.
Yeah.
We've talked about replayability a lot during Gen Con, and there's 5 bosses, 5 major bosses, and I think that's pretty much the only replayability it has. We saw all the weapon cards,
And I didn't like that.
and they were multiples of each weapon cards, so there really wasn't a whole lot of variety with weapon cards, and I don't know, the monster cards, we don't use all the monster cards, but
so there's 5 bosses and maybe one, two.
Well, I'm
three,
talking about
4,
major
5,
bosses.
6, 7, 8, 9.
there's 5 major bosses that
Major
change
bosses.
rules throughout the game as you're
Yeah.
playing.
But even this deck as well, there's 11 monsters and only 4 mini bosses we didn't use. So I don't know how much variation you get out of that.
We're gonna
Guess
see
leading
this. We're
on
gonna
to
see
that.
the same cards over and over. The only thing that really changes a whole lot is the major boss. It changes how you play. Like one boss, you have only 6 maximum health once you start fighting him. So that will change the game. Not a lot, but a little bit. I just wish there was
But
variety.
that's a really
more
easy.
varieties.
That's a really easy expansion to make.
Oh,
Yeah.
Cool. 15
cards.
bosses,
15
and a
different
deck of
bosses.
cards for new monsters. That's really easy to do.
Absolutely.
But I agree with you on that because I know you got early on a couple of the really good weapons.
Yeah.
And the rest of the weapons I felt like were just
They were
kind of
okay.
blasé. And that, I just felt like it limited the options. Having more of that would have been better.
What about armor? Just give me
Yeah,
a deck
just
of cards
stop.
of new armor that I could put on my character. That
But that was what the
do
range
a couple
was
other
before.
things.
It's
That is
like,
a little bit.
I'm shooting.
right,
Yeah.
that's what they put in there for that.
Yeah.
So-
You don't strategize too much with the weapons as much as it's just, that's a really good one and I want that. So Tim had one that every time he used it allowed him to do Hunter's Dream. So automatically you start to realize that that's really strong.
That's
because
extremely
he can
strong.
deal damage
Yeah.
and do Hunter's Dream. So he was able to hit creatures where he's like, I might die, but I get all my cards back and I'm gonna get full health and still deal damage. So he was able to do
Yeah.
that and get his trophies while the rest of us had to use Hunter's Dream, which means we don't deal damage and we didn't get trophies. So I think that you said that. It's when they make a game where a couple of items stand out as you must have that, there needs to be a better balance.
The only reason why I'm more okay with it in this game than others, because the game's 45 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you got to sit through a 2-hour game where someone's running it away with it because they've got a broken combo, it sucks. But it wasn't too bad.
Yeah.
It didn't.
No,
It bugged me too much, frankly.
No, I think you're right.
And Tim did tie for last, so maybe it's not as powerful as we think.
Right.
And maybe I didn't use it right. Maybe I was supposed to bank my blood when I used it also. I don't know if I got all the benefits from Hunter's Dream.
Yeah, I
Right.
believe you did.
But
yeah.
that's
Partly
just-
because
That's
this
just
was
me
our
being
first,
an idiot.
our
First time.
first play.
It was our first
It was
time.
our first
Yeah.
play. One thing I don't like, and usually we do not like take that games. I think our group does not like it. Alexander likes it. The rest of us, I don't know that we enjoy it. We'll do it when
me taking that from them.
Right.
It depends on what type of take that is.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm okay with this one because everybody has a chance,
do
same
the same,
opportunities
take
to
that.
do the
Yeah.
same thing.
Or
it's not
take that from everyone. It's less like
Yes.
I'm picking on you.
Yeah,
It was
that's true.
A little bit less of that.
But I would say that's one thing about this game. You got to kind of check your feelings a little bit at the
Yeah,
door.
yeah.
Because there were a couple times Brum was stealing my stuff, and I'm like, get your own crap. Leave my hard-earned blood alone. You know, or the one where you could have played... Was that a card or was that a monster ability where you could have damaged me?
Oh, it was a monster. That was a boss.
That was brutal. But
Yeah.
those kind of take that things, you could have really buried me had you had that hammer that
If I
did
had
3.
Or he had
Or
one that
Alexander's
was 4.
hammer that had 4.
Yep.
So, if you don't like take that games, be wary of this. It's not over the top take that, but I think there's some of that element there.
And it should be the way that Tim died. It required this being rolled and getting up to 4. And
Right.
the way that you can only do that with this die is there's 2 sides of it that have a plus sign, and so it's 2 plus, 1 plus. If you roll that number, you roll the die again. In that situation, Alexander rolled the 2 plus, and then he rolled a 2.
Yeah.
And
So
I
it was
had
4.
actually played an item that doubled the damage.
Yeah,
That was
brutal.
Alexander
very
didn't
brutal.
kill anyone.
No.
He rolled horrible.
He did roll
Yeah.
horrible.
Yeah,
It was
so
Grant
that's
that
a bad
finished
job.
me.
I think I rolled the high. Yeah. But so a little bit of that take that, I don't think a lot of people are going to like that. So you just need to be aware of that.
Yeah, but for the small game that it is, played very quickly. I had a great time playing this. What I did really enjoy was the artwork of the monsters.
Oh, yeah.
That a lot of the game is fairly bland. Artwork wise,
A lot of black, a lot of gray,
but the
a lot of
monsters
white.
are beautiful. They're creative. I know that's from the IP, but like they're extremely well depicted and they're fairly horrifying. Some of those are quite gross monsters. Maybe not a game you'd want little kids to play.
What about special powers for everybody? I know you get them with the cards also.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
would add some
I'm back to
That would add some
variety.
Variety.
So I don't know.
It will eventually feel like you're playing
Right.
the same game.
Like for my character, I get +1 damage if I use ranged weapons. Something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know. Just something different.
And one other comment I would have, we typically don't love 3 to 5 player games. This is a 3 to 5 player game.
Oh yeah.
So it's one of those things. It's not for every group because not every group can get 3 people together all the time. So why is it 3 to 5? Why do you think it is?
If you played 2-player, it would just be
It's-
back
you're
and
just
forth, back
picking-
and forth.
Yeah,
And it
that's
would
true.
be hard to get enough power to kill
Yeah.
all of the monsters. I think that's
I
probably
didn't
what
think
it
about
is.
that. You're
I
right.
even think the difference between 3 and 5 is going to be huge because
Yeah.
if you're that
Yeah.
last player
Yeah.
of that round,
Can you imagine?
you're getting nothing.
Can you imagine with
Points would
5
be
players?
You're
much
not gonna
getting
get
nothing.
anything.
And
You're gonna
even
have
with
to
4th
get-
player, you're not going to get much.
Well, you're going to have to focus on those ranged
Instants.
weapons
Instant
that get
effects.
you instant abilities. That'd be interesting. It'd be a totally different game.
It would be a really
totally
different
because
game.
we did 4, 5. It would be very different.
I think it would be pretty different. yeah.
Very different. So anyway, overall, I liked it. I thought it was a good game.
Yeah.
Well worth. What'd you pay for this?
Don't remember, but I'm glad I did.
Yeah, $45. Maybe.
I did
Anyway.
not have fun playing it.
Yeah.
Because I was dying the whole time.
I
But
enjoyed
I
it.
would play it again.
Yeah.
It's a fine game.
You would just sit
I
on
would
a
play it
different
again.
location.
Yeah,
relative
I would
to-
not sit next to Brum. And
Glad it's 45 minutes.
Yeah.
Didn't overstay
Yeah.
its welcome. That's why I would play it again. Even if I died a bunch, it's over.
Yeah.
It's over.
That's good.
So that's Bloodborne, the card game from Cool Mini or Not. This is one of Eric Lang's games, and we've been the playersaid.com.